this next one, River Grit, Death of a Streamer. I watched a couple of minutes of it, and I was like, you know, we gotta react to this on Hot Take Tuna Tuesday. So here we go.
Bro, if you're gonna ram me outside of an armistice zone, I will report you. I will report you.
Yo,
right,
JT.
This clip was sent to me recently.
If you ram me outside of an armistice zone, I will report you. That's not against TOS.
Yeah, I have no idea who it is because I don't watch Twitch, nor do I want to give any credit to this man, but it actually wet my willy, and
ooh, his willy.
a few things.
Yeah, the comma ray is down. You know, it would be terrible if I pulled out a ballista and I started shooting at ships.
Is he really doing what I think he's doing?
Oh no! Oh no! I'm inside of an armistice zone. Oh no! I'm outside the armistice zone. Oh no! Oh no! I'm inside the armistice zone.
Ah.
Bro, if you're gonna ram me outside of an armistice zone, I will report you. I will report you. Do it, dumb fuckers. Kill me. I'm guaranteed gonna report you now because you just knocked me outside the armistice zone. Like, all right. That's a report to CIG.
Boo-hoo.
Now, for whatever reason, this guy did not hop in a turret gun like right before
Awesome,
he left
JT.
beyond me. These guys were pretty smart using distortions, though, so the turret might have already been disabled before he could hop on the gun. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
Just kind of doesn't seem like smart gameplay to me.
See, didn't Agents and Captain Dirty from Chaos Squad and, you know, a whole bunch of other content creators like Marcus, myself, Canop, and a whole bunch of other players talk about how when CIG gave that warning out to Captain Dirty that it was going to cause more of this. Now, I think this guy is just being a man baby already for doing what he was doing. He was kind of baiting them into doing that, and then, I'm going to report you. First off, it doesn't work that way. We just said it's not against TOS to do what they just did. Secondly, you were kind of baiting them into doing that. And thirdly, it was just kind of stupid. It was really stupid to do what he did. But I really feel that false reports have been on the rise ever since that whole Carrick Karen incident, even though it turned out that Carrick Karen was a Carrick Chad. Of course, there's good stuff.
You're calling to report someone for ramming you outside an armistice zone. Do you know how stupid you sound?
Yeah, Comanche.
If you're gonna ram me outside of an armistice zone, I will report you.
You're streaming to an audience. Responsibly, you should know that that is not bannable. Even if they rammed you inside an armistice zone, the only way the action would be taken against you if it was on a Platinum Bay pad, which is a spawnable pad. There's nothing bannable here in this clip. Even if he gets bumped out of armistice, that's still not bannable. Like, first off, you get all excited at PvP.
So, real quick, story time. I forget which mining outpost we were on, but we were on one of the Hurston outposts, and there was a bunch of steel containers around some of the pads and around Platinum Bay. And we got into a fight just outside of Armistice Zone, and it was me and Star-Lord, and it was like 4-on-2. Star-Lord and I took out 3 of the 4 guys. The 4th guy happened to be in a tank, and he was outside of Armistice Zone, and me and Star-Lord were kind of playing with him, and we were just doing strafing runs on him. And we got his tank smoking, and he was about to explode. I'm pretty sure I have this on stream somewhere, too. And he just barely got into Armistice Zone. Like, I mean, just barely got into Armistice Zone. He, for whatever reason, jumps out of his tank and runs over to where all these stacked up cargo boxes were. You can't shoot in Armistice Zone at the mining pads. Like it's a hard armistice. You can't shoot. All your weapons are locked. And I was like, man, how are we going to get this guy? We can't get him. Star-Lord, he was flying the blade. So you know how the blade's got those swept wings that come forward? He flipped his ship on its side, put the wings down in between the containers, and hooked the guy and flipped him up into the air. And he lands and he falls over. And I could see him on the ground using a medical pen. And he runs back over to another set of containers. Star-Lord does it again, wedges himself into the containers, uses the wing, flicks him up, throws him. Guy uses another med pen. What got us was I was trying to watch him and another one of his buddies, and a C2 came in and rammed all three of us just above the armistice zone. It was kind of a letdown that we didn't get to kill him with the blade by throwing him into the air, but it was still funny while it lasted.
And bring a ballista outside of a mining station.
The comma ray is down. You know, it would be terrible if I pulled out a ballista and I started shooting at ships.
And then you get clobbered by some kids and you call for someone to get banned. Again, you're streaming to an audience, so you're
interesting, Comanche. What did they say? What did they say to you? They just like, don't do it again. Here's your little hand smack. That's really interesting. I think that's kind of dumb. I mean, if you're intelligent enough to think your way around a hard armistice zone kill, that's I don't know. I say congratulations, and if you're the player that it happened to, get good, I guess, or don't do certain things.
essentially encouraging them all to report people without good reason when they don't get their way. I mean, it's not right at all. In fact, it makes you look
this
like
guy's being a
whiny little
crybaby
bitch when things don't go the way you want them to. If anything, being a streamer or a big name like automatically makes you a target. So if you can't take the heat, get out the kitchen.
I say raspberries to
this leads me
that.
to my third point. Check it out. Saying things like this on stream will only make you a target to PvP players.
First off, if you're streaming, you've already got a target on your back. And if you're streaming and then having really stupid takes, if you're streaming and you have really stupid takes and you're big enough where people know where to look for you and things like that, you once again, you're putting a target on your back. If you act like this on stream, you know, let's take out him, you know, being a child basically, and you act like this on stream, where you're gonna provoke people by driving a ballista in and out of armistice zone to shoot at them. You're putting a target on your back.
In PvP groups, what you're doing is you're pronouncing to the world that you're liable to throw temper tantrums, and people feed off that. You're letting everybody know that they can extract salt.
Exactly.
It gets even better.
Exactly,
because this
River.
guy made a comment on Twitch saying this.
I killed another streamer by ramming into him inside of an armistice zone. Like, he wasn't on a pad, so he was just in the air and I had a bounty on him, so I rammed into him. Blew us both up, but I didn't fucking care.
So this guy was bitching about being rammed outside of an armistice, or right by an armistice zone, or outside of an armistice zone. And then he did it to another streamer. Let me back that up real quick.
Bounty on him, so I rammed into him. Like, he wasn't on a pad. I killed another streamer by ramming into him inside of an armistice zone. Like, he wasn't on a pad, so he was just in the air and I had a bounty on him, so I rammed into him. Blew us both up.
What a hypocrite.
It's a bitch move. I don't like ramming. I want it to go away. So I do it just to make everybody hate it.
I found those too.
Hypocrite.
It's called Ray's Guide.
Streaming, and he was streaming. He rammed him in an armistice zone on the Platinum Bay pad, and then got a 3-day suspension for it. This makes you look terrible, dude. Like, it just makes.
So this guy bitches and whines about being rammed, but then has rammed other people while on the Platinum Bay pads, and got a 3-day suspension for it. But then has the nerve to get on stream and talk shit when other people do it to him. What an absolute hat. What an absolute hat.
Makes you look bad. People feed off weakness, so my best advice would be to not showcase anger like this, or get good, practice PvP. I mean, he clearly said he doesn't PvP. He's obviously scared of it.
But I hate PvP too. Ship-based PvP is so bad in Star Citizen.
Even better, hire PvP orgs.
It is
or at
pretty
least
bad.
Friend some PvP orgs. Not just the mercenary orgs. I'm talking like the real PvP orgs that literally just play the game to fight people 24/7. That's it. And that way, when you get in a jam, you have some people to fight for you. I could go down a rabbit hole with this because I don't understand why orgs like Medrunner don't friend PvP groups. Like, I'm talking the top 7 PvP orgs out there. It doesn't make sense. I mean, all these groups want to do is just fight all the time, 24/7. For example, if Medrunner friended a PvP org, and then one day in the verse they got baited by some shit tier pirate org like D34, all they'd have to do is send up a signal flare, and the PvP org gets what they want, instant fights, and Medrunner gets what they want. They can get out clean in a, sketchy situation.
Before we let him continue, I think the whole idea of Medrunner, though, if you watch their YouTube commercials, is that they're elite, behind the enemy lines, medical, combat medics is what they try to refer to themselves. The problem that I see with Medrunner, and this is not a shot at them saying that they're horrible, leaving the drama aside. This is not a shot at them saying they're horrible, but I guess it kind of is a shot at them. I've dealt with them a couple of times, and both times I was against them. One time it was on stream. It was like 6 months ago, 7 months ago at this point. Another time was like 3 months ago, and it was not on stream. Both times they came in. How do I word this? I want to word this as politely as I can. They got called after we had absolutely laid waste to a group, and we left a couple of guys in capped so that they could try to come back and get them, and then we were ambushing those guys as they were coming in. They called Medrunner, and basically Medrunner came in, assessed the situation, got boots on the ground. We killed a couple of them, and they immediately private messaged this guy telling him to backspace. The guy backspaced, and they flew out. And this happened not once, but twice. So I don't get what Medrunner is all about and how they're helping people when 2 guys can take out 12. Let me get my numbers right. Somewhere between 10 and 14 players, including 4 to 6 of them being Medrunners. You're not helping yourself out. You're making yourself kind of look a little dumb versus your commercials.
Another important.
So I guess my answer to that is Medrunner is they try to promote themselves as lead combat medics. They need to actually conduct themselves as elite combat medics, and so far of the 2 interactions that I've had, they're not elite combat medics.
Important takeaway here is this is the exact bullshit that takes up CIG's time. Instead of working on issues that are actually violations or problems, they have to deal with this bullshit.
Yep.
Influx of false claims from players who just are mad and can't take an L. And lastly, the part that pisses me off the most is this guy is just abusing the Armistice Zone. I absolutely can't stand that shit. CIG just needs to get rid of them completely. Or
they will.
Instead of getting rid of them, maybe the same tech that prevents you from bedlogging if you're in combat would prevent you from being protected in an Armistice Zone if you're in combat. In conclusion, if you're a YouTuber or a streamer, you're going to run into scenarios like this. Take the L, move on, and don't throw temper tantrums, because it legit attracts people.
Look, you can get frustrated. You can get frustrated when you're doing this sort of stuff. The bugs are getting at you, things aren't working out, and then you get PvP killed and you weren't expecting it. You can be frustrated, but don't do what this guy did. Don't immediately go to, I'm going to report you, or, typing in global chat that, you're hacking or you're a griefer or anything like that. Because all you're going to do is just add fuel to the fire. The other night I was having a rough night with Star Citizen, and I crashed a whole bunch of times, and I was just having a bad night flying. And yeah, I was frustrated, and yeah, I, buried my hands in my face a few times, and it was visibly a little upset. But you know what? I admitted it was my fault. It was my bad flying. I was not having a good night. So I claimed another ship and moved on. That's what you got to do. I really think being a streamer doesn't mean you can't be human. You can be human, but it's when you do things like this that really gets other people and non-streamers riled up. And then even better is it gets guys like, well, River and other PvP groups that see you get this visibly upset, and they're going to be like, you know what, we're going to try to find guys like this because we know he's going to go to global chat. He's going to throw the salt around. And to them it's funny, and to me it's funny. Ooh, Uncle Porkchop. Ooh.
And
don't tease me, Daddy.
And people want to see that same reaction out of you again. Also, maybe friend some PvP orgs, or have your pilots train with some PvP orgs. All right, enough of this guy. I can't stand talking about him anymore.
That's a good one.
Anyway, I'm Rivergrit. Thanks for watching. And
thanks,
if
River.
this guy sees me in the verse, then GG's in advance.
Good video, Rivergrit. Good video.